Welcome back to the show, episode 13. Now, bit of a taboo number, but heck, we don't really care. We're not superstitious
No,
here.
Asians love 13 though.
No, we don't.
I thought it was. I thought it was like a lucky number.
No,
number 13.
we purposely skipped the number 13.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we purposely.
exist.
No, it just.
Welcome to episode 14.
No, actually, 13.5. 12 stroke 3. Whatever it is, welcome to the show. It is yet again another great weekend here at PlayTech. Yep. Thank you to all our sponsors, MSI, PlayTech, also Quantum Energy, for bringing us into the studio and allowing us to do our work. Joined with me here today is my good friend Aiden. Yep. We got Johannes on the couch as well. And we also have Blaze Strike behind the computer. You can't see him, he's got his mask on.
He's playing it safe.
Yeah, he's playing it safe. Especially when we're all the real dangers around him. Having said that, today's episode is all about the console wars. Mm-hmm. So today we're talking about specifically Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, like everything's been announced now.
Yeah.
We know what's coming. We know how much it is. So we're just going to get into all of that today.
Absolutely. But just before that, we got a couple of updates for you. Obviously, a lot of things are happening in the gaming industry all the time. You know, like there are game updates that we're going to talk about. Yep. There are announcements, teasers, reveals. But we really kind of have to narrow all of that down, because if not, we're just sort of regurgitating all of it.
Yeah.
But these are all the things that matter to us the most. And for me, to start with, is Hades. Hades is a roguelike game that's arguably one of the best roguelike games out there at the moment. This is not an update, or this is not a review or anything serious by any means, but Hades itself is a roguelike game that I have just bought, and I will try for myself, and I will come back with a review in the next few weeks or so. Hades is set to be apparently a godlike roguelike, and is one of the best in terms of storytelling and in terms of soundtracks as well. It's from the creators of Transistor and Bastion.
Yep, and like I said last time when we were talking about games we really love, Transistor was my top indie. Like Supergiant, I've actually owned everything Supergiant have made except Hades, and I don't know why, but for some reason, all through the development of Hades, something put me off. Yeah, I don't know what it. Maybe I just need to play it, and then I'll love it.
Yeah, I think you might need to play it. It's definitely one of those
Transistor
games.
is top tier for me. Like that's right up there.
Well, that's because Transistor is a storyline, is a linear thing. But maybe the idea of a grindy sort of game might have put you off. But yet again, it's got an end game. It actually has a storyline, and it has a linear sort of path. Yeah. Not linear path. It's got a path in which you have to follow. But at the same time, it's got freedom for you to go around, and the story actually shifts the way you play it. Yeah. So we'll try it out, and we'll come back to you guys in an episode 2 with a review. But until then, we also have Johannes with a Cyberpunk update, with some of the information that's been dropped to us from the Night City Wire. What's it called?
Yeah, Night City Wire. So basically, CD Projekt Red do these monthly live streams on the 19th of each month, leading up to their release in 2 months' time. Oh, by the way, we're under 60 days until the release of it.
Oops, sorry.
What are you doing, bro?
I'm trying to share the post.
Technical.
Sorry, I'm sharing the post. My bad.
So we're under 2 months, which means we've got another Night City Wire, one more next month, and then we've got the big release, November 19th.
Have you bought it already? Like pre-ordered?
Hells yes.
On what? GOG,
PC. Yeah, GOG. Gotta support directly, right?
Also, it's like $30 cheaper.
Exactly. So this Night City Wire covered. There were 2 videos on the city, Night City, and covered all the districts that were going to be there, and also covered the gangs of Cyberpunk. Previously, before this, we only really got to see, I believe, 3 gangs: the Maelstrom, the Voodoo Boys, and the Animals.
No, the Moxies.
And not before this.
Oh no, we did.
Maybe like very, very shortly.
Well, they did touch on it, but not in depth.
This 4-minute video showed basically, I don't know if it's all, but it's most of the gangs that are involved in the different districts. You got the Tiger Claws, you got the Moxies, 6th Street, Salvador's, I think. Yep. And Yeah, I'm missing a couple, but basically
was it
they're
animals.
yeah, animals as well, and yeah, Maelstrom and all that. It's man, I cannot wait. I cannot bloody wait. This thing.
The game
is
looks
gonna be,
ambitious because now that whole thing, I was like, getting big Grand Theft Auto vibes. I mean, it was sort of before, but even more now with the gang thing. Like before, I thought it was just your story in the city and those little branching trees, and then the game would spread out from there.
Right.
But this is a lot more now.
It's so much, man. And the city video, it showed the verticality of things, right? Basically, like every building, every apartment you can go into and will have some kind of context in terms of story quests. You can walk into an alleyway, see someone get mugged, and like intervene in it, and it's like, man, this is 5 years of just pure, developer love being put into.
It looks like a
game.
bitch to debug, though.
I'm glad I'm not a developer. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the Cyberpunk news. Yeah, again, there's going to be another one next month. And
November
as well.
Big ass month for games.
Taking 2 weeks off work.
Well, you're going to need more than 2 weeks off to actually get through it.
Yeah.
Having said that,
he could do it all night.
Oh,
2 weeks
this
straight.
guy's not gonna sleep. Don't even get me wrong. This guy, he's gonna just forego it. He'll still go to the gym. He'll still do his cardio. He'll still do all of that. He just won't sleep. He'll just like chug a bunch of quantum. I gave the guy the whole tub, right? So this guy's. How is the quantum, by the way? You've been going through?
Good. Yeah. I've had, I think, between that week and now, probably had about 12 servings.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
It's good.
Yeah. When do you normally use it?
Whenever I want, really.
Instead of a caffeine hit, you just take one.
No, it tastes nice. Okay. You definitely put way too much in that trial. You told me to put 3
someone
scoops
said to do 3 scoops. Someone told me to do that. Maybe it was Aiden or you.
No. The point was you didn't do 3 scoops. You did there's the scoop, and then there was this much on top of the scoop that you put into the cup.
Jim scoops
this much water. Yeah. Come on, man.
Jim scoops, just sniff it. No good.
Don't want to die.
Okay, so. Okay, so it's great to know that you are enjoying the quantum. It's a berry flavor.
It's the one.
All right, we'll have to get back with absinthe to see, not the drink, the streamer. we're not mixing quantum with absinthe.
You started something now.
It's not gonna be a thing. Social media guys, stay away from it. But we'll have to come back to her and see what she thinks about the sour apple flavor, and we'll find out soon. But let's move on to our main topic today. Yes. So we've dedicated this entire episode to discussing consoles. The reason for that is that even though we're all PC players, we've all been console players at some point.
Yep.
Right? So these consoles are, to us, I suppose, the next generation in gaming. And at the same time, the video also timed their announcements for their graphics cards to pretty much come just before this, because it
launched yesterday.
Yeah.
No,
2 days ago.
Friday.
2 days ago. Yeah. So the 30 series launched 2 days ago, and it's sort of like we're in this new generation in gaming again. It's sort of still very new, and so new to the point that we don't need to upgrade just yet. Even though we should be kind of upgrading to stay relevant with all the things. But that's the thing. And sorry to cut you off, but I honestly think that most of us don't even need to upgrade.
No.
Because the 2080 series, 2080 to 2070, and probably the 2060, will probably carry us through most games anyway. The 30 series is probably great for production stuff. Like rendering 3D rendering 3D projects, or streaming, or multitasking high level of processing. With a lot of the new software actually putting the graphics card as the actual processing load instead of the CPU these days. That's pretty much what you're using it for, right? I don't see a game taking up 90% of a 3080 or a 3090 anytime soon.
Way. Oh, maybe the new Crysis remaster. Apparently, it can do.
That's the Crysis
in
remaster. The 8K Crysis remaster can just play with itself. I'm not gonna touch that thing. But that's what this episode's about.
Yep.
Are we gonna get a Xbox or a PlayStation, or why would we? Why wouldn't we? That's what this entire episode's about. So I'll let Aiden start off and take this one.
Yeah, so we'll start off with the news that's come out first before we get into whether or not we're doing something or not. Yep.
Okay.
So the PlayStation got announced now. They had their big reveal, and then that shit show that was the pre-order situation, which wasn't meant to happen but happened anyway. So now,
But okay, so for people that don't know, like myself, what happened with the shit show?
essentially they were only meant to release, like, were meant to tell us when pre-orders would go live, but instead what they did was, well, not necessarily Sony, but the retailers decided, why wait? You can buy it now, well, pre-order now, and then everything just got effed because everybody tried to do it all at once, and so not everyone got one because there were only so many units available,
Right.
and then their websites crashed lots of times while people were trying to order it. There's stories on Reddit of people putting in their cart, going all the way through to the payment, clicking pay, and it just crashing, and they didn't get it. it was all pretty good.
I'm pretty sure Xbox also took a shot at Sony for that.
Yeah,
because
they did. They
were
mentioned,
like, don't worry, we'll tell you when our pre-orders go live.
It's on this date, guys. September 22nd. Don't worry about it.
And they also said, we'll tell you what time it goes live as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Big companies can't take shots at each other like that. And you know what? It's kind of like...
these two.
They kind of deserve to at the same time. So, what else?
Yeah, so then we just have to really mention when it comes to the PS5 is, are we all getting it? Why we're getting it? And is it something that we're desperate for? Because, you can't get one now. Sony have come and say they're going to release some more now, but really what that means to me is the people who are going to get second shipments will now just get first shipments. And the people who are going to be on the third shipment in 2021 will just get second shipments. So really, we're still going to wait till 2021 if we want one, because we haven't pre-ordered it at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, do we know the different, like, what are the differences between the Xbox and the PlayStation? Because honestly, like, the titles for the PlayStation are quite tempting.
That's all you should worry about. So the internals of these things, don't give, like, they're saying, oh, this SSD and this, it means nothing. It actually means nothing. They're just talking nonsense. Because look at our computers, look how powerful they are, and everything we can do with those in every other game that comes out.
Well, to be fair, most people won't be able to pay for the upgrades to be able to do what the PlayStation 5 or what the Xbox Series X or S can do. But at the same time, you can upgrade to that point. What really matters is what games can you play on those things, what can you do with those consoles, and how well can those games be played.
Essentially, those are the three, plus the only one that's not on there is Demon's Souls. Those are essentially the launch games for the PS5, right? Oh, except for, actually, no, Horizon's not a launch game. We don't know when it is, but it's only PlayStation. The other thing to mention is that all the three of those, except Ratchet and Clank and Demon's Souls, Miles Morales and Horizon will come to the PS4. So you don't necessarily, if those are the two games you're wanting to play, you don't have to get a PS5 to play them. Which is a weird, that's why I want to go to the point where you mentioned about a generational leap. We haven't actually leaped. There doesn't seem to be this necessity
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to sort of like articulate on. Like we are in this generational like boundary, right? We're at this point where we're at the precipice of a very new age of gaming. Right. We've got VR, we've got augmented reality, and we've got new ways for people to play games. We've got resolutions way beyond, right? We've got like games like Cyberpunk, which is like 5 years worth of production and effort and development.
Do you guys remember the space and time between the the last generation, the generation before? You mean
PS4 and PS4 Pro and Xbox One,
yeah,
Xbox One
between
X?
PS3 and PS4, and then between Xbox 360 and
I think that was like 4 years.
Right.
For like the proper numbers, not like the Pro stuff.
Between 3 and 4. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like 4 years.
Do you remember the number of kind of like overlapping generational games that existed?
I'm trying to recall like the biggest one. It's like the first and then the last.
Destiny was one.
Destiny 1 was on the 360.
Yeah.
every bloody sports game.
Yeah, but they're always the same game as well.
So what we're seeing now is we're seeing an exact mirror of that. I think every generational leap is going to have this overlapping period of like where games kind of straddle between the two generations. It's better now because I think with, again, like really good developers like CD Projekt Red showing that it is possible to provide free upgrades, you know, and still make money. Whereas before, it's like two completely different games. You buy one on the PS3 and then you buy the same thing essentially on a PS4.
Yep.
But now, you know, a lot of development studios are realizing that's not actually the case.
Yep.
Like they're quite kind of intermeshed. So for me personally, I'm gonna wait at least, if not half a year or an entire year, to actually buy a PS5 because, like, first and foremost, I'm not a tech guy. I'm a gamer, right?
Yeah.
All I care about are the good games.
Exactly. That's why I say don't worry about what's in it. Just only what you can do.
Right there. So when I see these launch lineups, like these killer apps, there are none, right? Spider-Man, that's awesome. Like, it's an awesome game, but it's not a killer app.
It's on PS4.
Exactly, and it's on PS4. It's a generational kind of bridge.
Right. So this bridge, right? So what I'm trying to get at is that we're at this precipice, right? This borderline where we're between generations now, but we're not like obligated.
No.
You know, we don't. There's no like compulsive need.
No.
To jump into like a 3090 immediately and then just be like fully upgrading your rig, then you know you change your motherboard, everything. We don't need to get to that level yet because just like every time they release a new Xbox or PlayStation, you kind of just sit there like, unless you're willing to be part of the sort of the noise and the mass and just like go along with the hype train of just immediately buying a console without knowing anything about all the other titles coming out on it.
Yep.
Right? You kind of just sit there and you're gonna like, okay, sure, you've got 2 games I want to play.
Yep.
Do I have to play them now? No.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like it's your career.
No.
The only time I would say that this is something you need to do is if, let's say, you're a professional Call of Duty player. Let's say you're a professional Call of Duty player, right? Your career is based around playing Call of Duty, right? You're sponsored, you've got a salary, you have to play Call of Duty, right? Next Call of Duty comes out, Cold War, Cold War 2, you know, Hot War, whatever you want to call it, you know, tropical thunder, whatever, Call of
Duty Kitchen Wars. Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like, whatever it is, if that next title in your esport comes out and it needs you to have 100% needs you to have a 3090 or an Xbox Series X, that's the only time you would compulsively need to jump to that.
Yeah.
If not, why are you buying it immediately? Right? So there's no reason why we need to buy it immediately.
No.
Other than jumping on the hype train. Because
all the hype train.
Yeah.
Do you think as like a professional Twitch streamer you would have to though? Do you think so?
See, that is also something, because if you want to stream the latest title, because when it comes out, let's say, Spider-Man. Let's say I want to watch Spider-Man Miles Morales gameplay. I want to watch live. I want to watch, and you know, like I have my favorite streamer, friend of mine, Alethea, right? Alethea from Australia. Let's say she's streaming Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5, right? Clear, crisp screen, you know, like DSLR camera, whatever it is, professional streamer. The amount of people actually streaming Miles Morales at that time on release will be so limited, her total viewers would jump. Right?
Yeah.
How many people would have a PS5 and have high level stream quality and already have 100 concurrent viewers? Very small percentage of people. And even if they had that Twitch following, how many of them would be streaming Miles Morales? Right? So if she or any other Twitch streamer that had the money or the capital to invest in this, because it is a business, because you are an entertainer, you are running your own show essentially, just like how we run our own show here. Just like that, you would have to invest in that as an asset.
Yep.
Right? as content, but you would have to milk the heck out of it to justify that, because you would not only have to play Spider-Man, you would have to play Horizon when it comes out, you would have to play Ratchet and Clank, not really Demon Souls, because it's a remake of an old game.
But it's like full bottom to top remake. It's not just like
but then again, Demon Souls is also very niche.
It is.
You know,
some
people just don't like being punished like a
Souls-like.
billion times over. You know.
Yeah.
And then having the AI learn how you got punished last time to do it again better. Having said that,
skeleton kills me.
Having said that, it is something that a Twitch streamer would have to invest if that's what they're known for, variety gaming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
If they're a streamer that only streams one title, like a professional Rainbow Six player or professional Call of Duty player, then they don't need to. You know, if they're a streamer like from offline TV, you know, one of those big organizations or groups that pretty much variety stream everything based on your personality with the Twitch, with high level Twitch quality or whatever. If that's the case and that happens, then like if you're streaming Among Us, then you're within that category already of variety streaming. You'll stream that game for like a week and then you move on.
Yep.
But what else can you do with these consoles other than play games?
Watch movies and watch your other video apps.
Right.
Like
so
the Xbox One and Xbox One X were media consoles. That's how they were pushed out, as being the center of your home entertainment system. But that's not the case with the new one now. There's no longer a satellite link cable in there. There's no longer an HDMI in. It's just the out. The other is just pure digital as well, so you can't use it as a disk drive to watch movies. They've moved back to just being about playing games or media.
Well, that's because no one used the Xbox One for anything.
Well, you also couldn't if you were outside of America.
Yeah.
So it became pointless.
Yeah. And to be honest, in our day and age, honestly, with Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus,
exactly, everything's
all
going
these
digital.
things pretty much make everything else moot.
Yeah.
Like,
do you watch TV? I don't watch TV.
No one watches TV.
I watch things on streaming networks.
Not even my dad watches TV anymore. My dad watches everything on Netflix. He watches like old reruns or old shows that he'd never seen before on Netflix, and he's just going through an entire library of things that he's never seen.
Yeah.
You know what? The news also have their own apps now.
Yes.
You know, if he wants to watch the news...
Actually, yeah, that's the only TV I watch is like the daily COVID report. That's it.
Yeah. You know what? And I mean, like, once we find out on Monday whether we're going to level 1 or we're staying at level 2...
For another week or so.
Or moving to level 3... Touch wood. That doesn't happen. But... Other than that, like, why would you watch the news? You know, like, half the time it's like
sensational.
In our day and age, and this is going off topic just a little bit, but in our day and age of woke blokes, everyone being very aware of all these things, right? And sort of like the science and sociology of people knowing what the media does, of sensationalizing things or deviantizing one thing or the other. Why would you listen to the news? We would rather be looking at, like someone posting a live video or, like live evidence of a happening at the location, because all those things go viral these days.
Yeah, usually the news is actually late to the party.
Yeah. And it's just for boomers. Millennials like us, we're more up to date because we stay on social media.
Yeah, we've seen it already.
Yeah, we've seen it. And then, like, my dad will come up to me like 2 days ago, like, hey, did you hear that there's a truck on the bridge that crashed? And I was like, yeah, I found out like 2 days ago, like I told you. And he's like, oh, I didn't hear you. I was like, well, hey, get on Twitter, you might find out sooner. Memes come out before like anything. Like Johannes like literally was stuck on that motorway, and then a meme came out that night.
Yep. I'm actually really, really worried of how I'm going to get to work next week. So it's going to be fun.
Work from home, don't worry about it.
Take a ferry. Hey.
It's not going to work. Ferry.
All right, back on track.
But now that we don't need to use the Xbox for anything other than gaming, nor the PS5, are there any reasons why you would ever buy an Xbox or a PlayStation?
Double?
Halo.
No, I'll come to that in a second. No, the other one. Okay, firstly, since we're on. Yeah.
Okay.
Aesthetics, actually. Look at it. The PS5 looks nice.
You see the set of Kaiba memes?
Compared to that block, I would pick a PS5. Let's say I had no choice. Pick a console. Like, yeah, the white one.
the white, blue, and
the controller as well just looks real nice.
It's so futuristic. The Xbox looks like it's gone nowhere with this designing.
It's gone backwards. I prefer the One X style to the block over there.
I mean, like, not even looking at the block, the controller looks exactly the same.
Controller hasn't changed.
The controller has not changed
Actually, I think
a single bit.
Did it get thicker in the center?
I don't care how thick or nasty it looks. Like, I mean, like, the thing could be deliciously. Like,
Why would you change perfection?
Actually, it is the best controller, like, to hold. It is the best one. PlayStation feels like
the physical design. Okay, look, the physical design doesn't have to change the ergonomics. The ergonomics doesn't have to change. Just change the face of the thing, you know, like. Like, change the faceplate, change the Xbox button or something, you know, like, change the shape of some of the fucking, like, the D-pad. The D-pad looks exactly the same.
No, that's changed slightly.
Is it sort of more like the Elite now?
Yeah.
Okay, but see, the Elite already exists, you know?
Actually, just give us back pedals on every controller and I'd be happy.
Does it have back pedals?
No, it's standard.
That's backwards then. It's even gone backwards.
You literally pay an extra $200 for back pedals. To buy an Elite controller.
People would do that, but why don't you give that as a new generational thing? Like, it should be. That would be such a big leap forward.
The upgrade is actually little textures on the triggers, so you can feel them better.
I think back pedals are a bit of a advanced concept. I mean, think about it. Think about it, right?
It's for the catch-up with keyboard mouse thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For us gamers, like, we want those back paddles to have easier access to, like, the circle and the X, whatever buttons. But for your auntie who's gonna pick up an Xbox and play, I don't know, like.
Man, my auntie ain't playing no Xbox, man. I don't know
what
how woke your auntie is. My auntie's never played Xbox.
General population here.
General population.
My aunt, if any boomers want to ever play...
You stupid, Johannes. What are you talking about?
If any boomers ever want to play video games, I suggest mobile gaming. Like, if you want to play them...
Too small.
It's even worse.
That's it. What, you made it worse?
No, you know what? My uncle is like...
Your uncle.
He just turned 40. He's been playing Clash Royale for a few years. Okay?
So
your auntie and his uncle should get together and make some gaming empire.
What I'm trying to get at is back paddles, right? It's not clearly visible.
No.
So when you have a game, you know, trying to introduce the usage of back paddles, and, you know, it usually has like an icon on screen. Okay, push that button. Your auntie's gonna look around like,
where is it?
Where is it? You know, it's not a very intuitive, you know, on the surface look, but it's very intuitive to actually use, and if you actually understand it.
Yeah.
Like, I play Destiny on a controller, and I wish I had back paddles for.
Same for me and Joe. That's all we want is now.
God.
We're looking at Elite controllers, like $270 for an Elite
I
controller.
might do it because it's actually going to be it's going to be easier on my tendonitis. So with tendonitis on my thumb, I personally find that because I like a lot of the Destiny has a lot of like functions.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the mouse and keyboard with Destiny, because there's too many different things to try and press.
I mean,
that's what annoyed me.
The pressing with the mouse and keyboard is fine. Right. The issue is that having to compete with once you get used to the mouse and keyboard, like the buttons, honestly, it's actually easier. It's more streamlined. But the only reason why I'm controller is because the aim assist controller provides you is so unrivaled and overpowered that for some guns like hand cannons, you almost have to use a controller.
Well, when you're versing people on keyboards who can spam crouch and then sprint, jump, and slide
snap,
like in an instant, snap in an
you know?
instant, and like I'm like, yeah, give me my aim assist. That's all I can have.
Yeah, it really does level the playing field. I mean, as soon as I play,
hold on a second. When you use the summoner, when you're using the summoner. Controller makes it so much easier. I land so many, like, you notice that my performance in Trials of Osiris or Crucible or whatever has increased or done better. I'm like doing much better now with controller, and the summoner specifically. Yeah. Right? Joseph just needs to carry himself out of like Crucible because the guy keeps losing like 20 games in a row now. I don't know.
That's bad. We went solo queue for what was it? Not Rumble. The survival. We went solo queue, and I versed him. He was on the other team and just kicked his ass.
Okay, but back to the topic again, because we keep drifting off.
We do. Yeah, so PS5 looks good. Xbox looks pretty gross, let's be fair. Also, there's a size comparison for the two. Everyone was memeing the Xbox when it got announced, right?
Yeah.
Saying, oh, look at the fridge. Like, where does this go in your trash? Look, the PS5 is actually bigger. It is a good almost 5 inches bigger than the... Not inches, but 5 centimeters? Can't even see from here. But it's bigger, either way. Look how
5 inches? That's a lot.
and heavier. Big, it's taller, it's heavier, it's a skyscraper.
Yeah. Is that the tallest console there is right now?
Yeah. Nothing's been that big before. People, Destiny guys were memeing it as the PS Hive. Because it looks like a hive tower.
All right. So, I mean, the PlayStation, so one of the main reasons why anyone would buy a console, right?
Because it's an easier market to get into when it gets to gaming. Parents only have to go, there's the thing that works, here's what they want to play,
Also,
here you go.
Yeah, so also it's easier for them to control the kid, right? Because if you put the kid on a computer, they can do almost anything on it.
Mm.
You put them on a console,
They can only play games.
they only play games, and you can turn the TV off.
True. You have control of
Right.
the television.
Also, if you're using TV, they can't play games, right?
I know,
It's a
very
more
annoying.
manageable, and there's better parental controls on a console than there is a PC.
Mm-hmm.
Man, PC turn on incognito mode, you never know what your kid's doing.
Current bane of every parent's life right now, I'm sure. Also with tablets and phones with internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, now that, mobile gaming is huge with children,
Yeah.
right? And by the way, League of Legends Wild Rift is in beta in Southeast Asia. It's going nuts. It's very polished. Can't wait to get our hands on it. But at the same time, because it's so much easier to manage with your family, your friends, and just pass a console around. You can't pass
Exactly.
a PC
Also,
around.
The couch experience is console, right? You can't really do that with a PC unless you had it streaming to a TV and you had a laptop or something. It's not
Even
so
if
easy.
you're not in a couch, maybe if you're in a gaming room and you're still in your DX Racer or your AK racing chair or whatever chair you want to get, sponsor us, what's up. But no matter what you're sitting in, the console still provides you, well, PC also does, but the console invites
Yep.
parties, groups. Approachable, bigger crowds, I suppose. It's more malleable.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
the word, it's accommodating. There are
transportable.
games, there are games and there are titles that you can get on consoles that are on PC that cater for parties much better. SingStar was one of them back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what is it, Just Dance?
It's not now. That's still back in the day.
No, that was a.
There's a new Just Dance?
There's always a new Just Dance. There's always a new Just Dance.
Wow.
Just Dance will never just stop just dancing, right?
Just stop.
Just do it again. But having said that, one of the reasons why I think we would ever buy any one of these consoles is allegiance. What is your history with that console? How long have you been loyal to that brand? Right? For us, it's really been Xbox.
It has, but then
But at the
I've
same
had a
time-
PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
I never had a
we
2
all
or a
had-
3, but I had a 1.
We've all had PlayStations at some point. And if we didn't have a PlayStation because we weren't fortunate enough, like
Yeah.
I was, we played on a PlayStation. PlayStation has the longest running console loyalty other than Nintendo. Nintendo and Sega are like the longest running consoles, or the oldest consoles out there. But Nintendo has taken a very different turn, right? Nintendo used to be like the forefront of console gaming. Like there's nothing like it.
Yep.
Right? Nintendo 64 is just
Yeah,
wow.
look, I've played on all of those things.
Yeah.
I played those characters on each of those things.
Yeah, and
Halo was my first Xbox game. When
Halo should have been everyone's first Xbox game. Honestly, that thing was like the forefront of shooters. Like it was combat evolved for a reason. People were just like, holy shit.
I remember I was like,
Halo is nothing like this game. What, the confetti comes with that head? Yo, buddy.
yeah,
Sticky grenades. What's a sticky grenade?
killing girls.
You know?
and stuff. And then I remember having Mario Black and White on my Game Boy.
Yep.
I had Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation. That was my first PlayStation game as well. Was the Crash games.
Yeah.
And then
Pepsi Man was mine.
Pepsi Man.
You never played Pepsi Man?
Sounds like
Is that a platformer?
Yeah, it was like a platformer. It was a
So,
3D platformer. So essentially, the story was it was such a really cheap game to make. Like the background is actually just black, and it's just like
it's just a money grab for Pepsi.
No, it was a legit like a game that people legit played. Like so, essentially, the story was people were in trouble and thirsty, and Pepsi Man had to come to the rescue.
Was it the one where you so it was
You're
a
running.
thing. Yeah,
It had a theme
running.
song. It had a theme song. It was like Pepsi Man. Like, you see him running. It was like Subway Surfers. It was pretty much the same. Subway Surfers.
When you say the
Floating-
word brand plus game character, yes, it is exactly the same.
Yeah, so it was like Subway Surfers, and you essentially ran down a linear track, and you like dodged things, or you jumped over things, and you went left or right, and then you made it.
You
to,
never
like,
played
one-
Louis Vuitton Brawlers?
Fashion Brawlers, Pricks versus Gucci.
Choose your fighter.
Supreme what? I mean yes. I mean, but I mean, PlayStation so in terms of consoles, like Nintendo took a very creative turn.
They did.
They
They're
don't
always
want to
creative.
compete. Like they had a really good foresight with that. They saw it. They were like, these guys are competing. Do we want to be a part of that? Nah. Let's make something different. They made the Wii.
Yeah, that was
Right.
definitely different.
Yeah. So then they made the Wii, and the Wii was just like it was a hit or miss console. It had some really good titles. Like No More Heroes is still one of my favorite games. No More Heroes 2, whatever.
Zelda was hard to play on that, actually.
I really like Zelda. I think it was perfect the way it was. You played it on.
I did. Also, I think there was a Prince of Persia. I feel like
There was a through like a 2D 3D.
Yeah, where you used the whip as one of them. I think that was interesting.
It was real different. And they had a whole bunch of different titles on the Wii.
Yeah.
It was just a more interactive and physical way of playing. Wii Boxing was one of the most
Wii
famous.
Boxing was the best.
Tennis.
One of the best. Tennis was one of the
Tennis was
best.
wild.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Z memes.
Yeah.
But having said that, it is one of the best.
Actually,
one of the biggest pivots in
there
console
was
gaming.
because everyone had a camera. Then you had the Kinect for Xbox, and you had the PlayStation Eye. They all had these interactive. Like everyone was playing Fruit Ninja and everything.
Yeah.
So glad that never took off. Like I'm so glad that trend never took off, man.
I remember when it came out, and I got an Xbox Kinect version. My friend, remember Josh Mendes? He came over, right? And he was staying at my place. And we were playing it. And then we played it so much, the next day he couldn't move his shoulder. He actually fucked his shoulder. We played it so much. That's funny.
But ever since then, they've taken the more unique route.
Yep.
Right. And now with the Nintendo Switch out, it's pretty much the best Game Boy you've ever had. Right?
It is
And to be honest, it probably doesn't need to be replaced anytime soon. Nintendo can just run with this thing for another 3 years. No one's gonna give a shit. You know, the
What if-
graphics on that are sufficient.
I was going to say, it could probably use a dock that has an upgraded graphical engine in it for when you want to sit on a couch and have that experience as well, and then have the proper Switch when you travel. I mean, understand that your experience isn't going to be that great, but if you want to,
No, but the thing
there's
is,
a better version when you plug it in at home.
well, that's only graphics though. But in Nintendo, with Nintendo titles, it's never about graphics. For Nintendo, it's like, yes, this new Switch has upgraded graphics from the older Nintendo consoles, but these graphics are at a point where essentially, like, it's like, like we were saying, we don't need to upgrade it. We don't need to go past these level of graphics. Like, honestly, you look at these graphics anyway, and you're like, oh, it's good enough so that the designers can actually make it look pretty, right? So if it just sort of satisfies you, it doesn't need to be the most high end, like the highest level of graphical fidelity.
You say that, but some
But-
things do
but-
pull because of that. Like, why?
But
Why do you
but-
like Cyberpunk so much? A game you've never played, just
okay.
never came out before.
Alright.
What about it
Honestly,
actually draws you straight away?
Not the graphics.
Okay. Because I wouldn't because you haven't played it. That's my
Yeah,
point. Like you can
yeah.
only see what they're showing
Well, for me, it's the promise.
you. Okay.
Right, it's the CD Projekt Red. I've played Witcher 3
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times all the way through, including the expansions, and it's the promise of it being that, but on a times 100 scale. The graphics in Cyberpunk, I don't think are very like.
No, they look. Honestly, it looks like
amazing.
Mankind Divided. No, it looks like Mankind.
No way.
No.
Pull up side by sides if you can. Mankind Divided looks like cartoons.
No. No.
The thing with their graphics is that there's a lot of color, clutter. There's a lot of like lived inness.
Yep.
The NPCs look very wild and zany and wacko, but the actual graphic fidelity, like the texture size and texture quality, it's just
It's nice, but it's nice, but
Yeah,
it's not like.
it looks just like
It's not like looking at like Senua's Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade, whatever. Like that stuff was like, wow, that's beautiful. You play that, you play The Last of Us. It's not mind blowing, but it's very, very beautiful.
Those are different things with textures.
Yeah, I know,
open spaces versus cluttered cities.
Yeah, exactly. But because it's such a big open world, the graphics, if you actually pay attention to it, it's actually not that great. It's very nice. It's very nice, but it's not necessarily the most beautiful thing. Like,
Well, I was going to say, wouldn't that be like comparing a cityscape to looking out across an horizon?
well, I mean, that's exactly the point.
It's what do you prefer to look at?
Yeah, but point being, the graphics is not what what's pulling your harness to play.
when I was like 13 or 14, when graphics was king back then like graphics was always going to be the first thing that you look for. Especially when you guys remember Crisis when that first came out,
yeah.
and it was just like, oh my god, I didn't care the game was actually like
Ass.
kind of
And it wasn't that good.
crap.
Yeah.
It was crap. It was like
The
it
new
was
one is
slow,
also
it was
going to be
sluggish.
crap, mind
It's
you.
not new. It's the same thing remastered.
I know. Exactly. It's going to be
It's
just
the same
as crap.
story. Yeah.
But I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, because it was so like the graphics were so nuts. Nothing has ever been done like that before. But now it's like every game should look like that. Kind of does. So
Point being, so like, going back to my original point, graphics don't have to be that great on Nintendo.
No.
You don't. With Nintendo, it's not about the graphics. It's about the actual experience playing the game. How interactive is it? Like, how do you have fun? Are you able to interact with other people? That's why the Joy-Cons can be pulled out and shared with people, right? The whole thing about the Switch is that it's interactive, it's portable, it's fun. The titles are unique and creative and innovative. Nintendo's all about innovation. But it's never about graphics. Like, yeah, they upgraded graphics to stay up to date because obviously people want something that, while people's standards get raised, people need something that's, in their eyes, serviceable. Right? So, Nintendo Switch graphics, serviceable. Definitely. There's some very beautiful games on there. And, like a lot of the games going 2D, 3D, or, sticking with the older pixel graphics are still serviceable on the Nintendo Switch. And it caters for that. But at the same time, it's really about keeping a unique experience that you can't get on Xbox or PlayStation. You really can't get the same experience playing Pokemon on Xbox or PlayStation. You sit down in your living room playing Pokemon on a big screen, possible with the Nintendo Switch dock. But you can't also just take it out of the dock and just go down the road, take it to the bathroom, or like go to the gym and play Pokemon. Take it on a train. All that's unavailable. You can't go see your friends with it. Right? Same thing with Mario Kart and whatever. Now back to Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox and PlayStation's experience is quite limited in its sense in terms of innovation. It's all really graphic war, right? But like we said in the very start, we don't really care about graphics that much, right? Or I mean, we don't really care about the hardware that much.
We don't care about the hardware.
We don't really care. We really used to.
The 360 was king for a long time.
Yeah.
And PS3.
Yeah, PS3.
And we
before.
just like with news and media and NVIDIA just stepping up the game, we all became PC Master Race players.
Yeah, and on that point, Xbox
or
has just moved to this Game Pass system now. Like, all the big first-party games that are coming out for Xbox, like every single one of these is coming to PC.
Yeah.
You don't need an Xbox to play a single one of those games, which is the big, like Halo Infinite. They're big Halo, they're big franchise. You don't need an Xbox to play.
I don't know if
Gears,
they're shooting themselves.
I also wonder the same thing.
I really.
But then I look at like the price for Game Pass PC just went up because it went out of beta, right? So it's gone from $7 to $12.65 now.
Time to cancel.
But then there's that. It's
Liz, you want to say something?
$12 a month.
He's shaking his head a lot.
It cost me $7 now.
Just repeating the same. Yeah. So now look at like $12 a month over a year. You're looking at what, $120 something dollars.
Yeah.
So you have to look at now is what game is coming out in that year that you're paying for it that's worth the $100 or more than one game. If it's more than one, you've made your money. You're fine because you've now saved half the cost. But if it's just one, and you're stuck to using that system to play it, like on the app or whatever, then maybe you just buy the game outright and cancel. But then you also have to consider
really
there's other things that could show up, like all the Final Fantasy games are coming out. They just acquired all of EA's catalog. So now if you're wanting to play any of the racing games or sports
Titanfall.
games, that's going to now show up into that. So
can you imagine if you went back in time, 10 years and said to like your younger self that, all these games are going to be free. All you have to do is pay like $10 a month. That's that's insane.
it's nutty.
The thing is, like, I honestly think Xbox are gonna make more money than not. So I think the deal, like, depending on how they structured the deal with these developers, whether it's either a commission based or like a play-by-play sort of payment system.
We haven't heard about that actually.
Yeah, so they're definitely keeping that under wraps because
they are.
How they've tailored this it is definitely profitable for them, so that pretty much these developers don't have to actually sell a copy, right? But will still make profit, and Xbox will still make profit and not make a loss.
Also for the studios.
Yeah, well, I mean they've definitely done the math.
Yeah.
Right. So how I think, and this is all speculation, so don't even take my word for any of this, by the way, guys. But honestly, I think that it's on a play-to-play basis. Like if someone doesn't play the game on that title, they don't get paid. Or if someone plays that title, they get X amount of dollars out of that Game Pass per play or per activation. That's probably how it's working. Because if not, then Xbox are losing millions and billions of dollars in like money because they would have had to pay rights for like how many people to access those games.
Well, it's also limited. So I wonder if it's not the case that they put your developer, you put your game on Xbox, Game Pass, sorry, and as long as it's there, for all the people who pay to play Game Pass, you make a fraction of that just because your game exists on their system.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like this is
that would be the better money maker for a developer, in my opinion. Is that you release your game, only certain people are going to buy it because they're interested in that kind of game you've made. But if it's on a bigger system that everybody's paying for, whether or not they play it is besides the point. You're still getting paid.
It could be the case.
It's a safety net mechanic.
So maybe it doesn't come out on release, whereas some Xbox first parties will. But later on, after you've made like the hype train has died for your game and you've made a lot of money, you chuck it on Game Pass and start getting a drip feed of money.
Yeah, like I would never have played Gears of War 5 if it wasn't on Game Pass. I would never have played Gears of War 5. I love Gears of War. It's a great title. It's a great story.
But you wouldn't have paid for it.
I mean, it's not groundbreaking, and I had other games to play. There are so
you would have
many
waited.
good games these days.
Gears
I would have either waited or just watched a review about it.
Okay. Well, no, I would have definitely bought it because Gears has always been a great game. So, and I've liked the story, so I would have continued.
Without a doubt, it is a great game. Without a doubt, it will always be a great game. I have not even finished it yet. Right? I'm still that far off from finishing it. But at the same time, it's not something that I'm enticed to play immediately. Yeah? It's a title that's there. Personally, it's the titles that it's there. It's like, oh, it's free. Joseph got me like a free subscription because like a little trial thing.
Yeah.
Played it. Okay, great. Trial's over. Can't play it. Whatever. Like same with a lot of other games for a lot of people these days. But having said that, a lot of people that activate the Game Pass, right, are on a subscription. Just like every other subscription you pay for.
You just ignore it.
Which is where the real money is.
Yeah.
Right? City Fitness. Right? How many people sign up to the gym?
Oh, a lot.
100 people
I
a week.
know people who
100
have
plus a
signed
week.
up, and for a year, I'm like, hey, didn't you sign up last year? I was like, yeah, I'm still paying for it. I haven't seen it. Like, I just haven't gone. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You're paying $14 a bloody fortnight
Same thing.
and you're not even going.
Because to them, it's a small amount they don't care about.
Yep.
Right? But that small amount compiled with 100,000 plus people is $100,000 million.
Yep.
You know, and that's making their entire world go round. But that's the same thing with this Game Pass. You know, like it's what, like $7, $10, right? $12, right? You're paying $12 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 3 coffees, 2 coffees depending on where you eat.
True.
Right? 2 coffees a month. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Just under the table. You don't even think about it. Right? Just out the window. Who even counts how many coffees they have a month?
No, not a month. No.
No. Unless you're a bodybuilder really counting calories. Even then, coffee's negligible.
Yeah, just long blacks.
Yeah, long blacks, right? I mean, so having said that, what are we looking forward to?
Then that begs the question: is there something coming out on these consoles that you need to jump to play? Whether if it's now or 6 months or a year, what is it that you're waiting for that's coming out that you're like, okay, I need to buy a console I can play this?
Look at the previous generation, what it's been like. Games like God of War didn't come out until like 3 or 4 years into that console's life.
Just before. Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, The Last of Us, the original one, came out on PS3 just before the PS4 came out.
Right.
So I think that was when the time frame.
That was the apex.
Yeah.
That was like the swan song of PS3.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it's the swan song of PS4.
Yeah.
The second one.
So if anything, wait years.
Yeah.
Like, especially when games are coming to PC now, like these so-called console exclusives are coming to PC.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no reason to buy a console. If you're just a casual, like myself, just like there's no reason. I bought a PS4, which I kind of regret actually. Just because for Destiny 2, because I'm barely touching the bloody thing.
Move to PC.
Right. Actually, console was the main thing we played on console was Destiny, and then Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But now that as soon as they said they're going to PC, we all jumped for it. We jumped onto PC straight away.
I mean, I knew it was coming to PC, but they were like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out October next year." I'm like, I'm not waiting that long to get a PS4, But yeah, retrospect, I could have waited.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, the only reason you would play, like, you would get a game this early, like on any of those consoles, if you had a service game like Destiny.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't have to catch up to it. Like
that's what we were talking about. Yeah, they were talking about in November. There's so much coming out. I'm gonna play Destiny first because I need to do that content, or else I'm gonna have to play catch up eventually when I have the time to get back to it.
Right. Exactly. So I mean, like, we don't want to have to go back to Destiny later and be like
message, there's so much to do.
Yeah, message Cartnoy.
Like, look at all
hey
the
man,
quests.
how do I do this raid now?
Yeah.
Like,
look at
how do I do this mission?
Look at all the gun quests you were just trying to finish off in the past week.
I'm not gonna finish all of it.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, if they released a long term, like, sort of like consistent, like a game where people would consistently be on, then yeah, I would get a console, right? Get a console for that title. If they announced Destiny Beyond Light as a Xbox or PlayStation exclusive for the next year, then yeah, we would. Yeah, this is like, yep, sure. As long as there's cross save of it enabled on it, we would probably get it.
And you can. There is cross save. One of the best things I think right now is with the Destiny coming
but it's
to
not
Xbox.
exclusive to PlayStation, so we don't need to.
It's exclusive to Xbox though. You have Game Pass for console.
No, it's not.
You'll have everything.
No, it's not, because if you like, there's a meme that I used to post on Twitter for this post. Essentially, like, the two girls like fighting over fighting.
Yes, I saw the one.
And it's just like, like Xbox and PlayStation exclusives just fighting each other, and then one kid in the back like smoking on a pipe, and it's just like also available on PC. Like, why would you even? I mean, the PC master race just is undefeated at this point, because you need they're essentially PCs that just do one thing.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to as well as the big cost war between the two consoles. Like, this one is saying they're $500. Everyone is waiting on with bated hooks about what will the PS5 price be, and it's the approach. It's what it costs to get into the market.
Yeah.
And then the games afterwards are the same price as PC games now. And we have sales, but let's say it's just straight up. If there were no sales existing, it's cheaper to buy a console in your game than it is to buy an entire PC to run that game at its highest fidelity.
Yeah. So it's actually cost efficient. So that's one of the reasons why you would buy a console, is because You just don't have the time. You don't want to invest in a big ass PC. You might
Worry
just
about all these settings you got to
you
tweak.
would rather probably buy a business focused laptop with high processing power so you can do your work, and then take that laptop to work and back, and then just have your console at home.
Yep.
Like that's how the kind of like mobile plug and play kind of lifestyle that I would imagine someone would have.
I like that. What I like about a console and the concept of playing these more exclusive games that I can't play on something else is how relaxing it is. I can put it up on the lounge. I can sit back. I can chill. That's why I still play with a controller for Destiny. It's relaxing. I don't feel sweaty when I'm on a mouse and keyboard or something.
Yeah.
And being in that computer room or where my computer is, it's closed off. It's it's hunchy. It's
Encapsulating.
yeah, it is that. Whereas sitting on a couch, it feels nice. It's the same experience I used to have,
Yeah.
and that appeals to me.
Yeah, and that's why consoles are still in, right? Consoles still have the ability, still have a very strong community and market, right? It's great for people who want to stay price flexible, people that want to stay, I suppose mobile with their life as well, to just plug in and go. But it's definitely for that more casual market, and you can see that with the titles that come out. Like these are titles that you will play for like a week, or you would play for half a year, depending on how slow you go. But these are single player games with great storylines that people don't necessarily need to invest too much in.
Yep.
Now, other than that, do we have any other points on consoles?
I'm trying to think. I think we covered quite a bit.
Okay, so let's end it with price points. So just for everyone at home that don't already know, what are the prices in New Zealand dollars for Xbox and PlayStation?
So it depends what you want, but essentially, the big 1X and the PS5 with a disc is $50 between the two. The PS5 is $50 more expensive than the Xbox. That's it.
So what are the prices?
That was $800 and $850.
Okay.
And then the 1S, the digital one, was $400,
Right.
and the digital PlayStation was just $100 cheaper than the disc version. Because there's no difference. The 1S is spec'd lower than the 1X. It's not for 4K gaming.
Right.
It's for the people who are still going to live at 1080 or 1440, but want things to run just as well.
Right.
It's like your laptop versus your desktop.
Right. I would probably get probably the big PlayStation 5.
The one with the disc drive?
Yeah.
It's just more accessible to have a disc drive in there. You can watch your movies as well. The digital thing, you can just stream.
It's for the just in case, because if I buy a collector's edition and it comes with a disc, I would have to buy a digital copy again if I got the digital version. And considering that some people are really stepping up their game with collector editions, like the Ghost of Tsushima mask, love that thing. My Connor statue for Assassin's Creed 3, love it. If they came out with a nice collectible that would not fit, that would be so big and that I would have to buy the collector's edition, I would not be able to use that disc. It's just like I would have to sell that disc separately, or just keep it in storage like it doesn't get used.
I mean, they could put digital codes in instead of discs. That could be it, but they don't currently. It's not really a thing that.
Yeah, because then they would have 2 copies of the game, and they would have to charge you twice. So, are they going to do that? Maybe. Would we find that fair? Probably not. We only want the one
You also have
copy.
the option of you're finished with the game, you like your collectible, you can sell the disc to someone else and make some money back.
Yeah, but the disc normally comes in a steel art book.
You can still sell it. It still works as a game. It's
why would you sell the steel book for? Like the steel book.
What are you staring at a steel case of a game for?
It's part of the collection. It's part of the collection. Joseph would know.
Got a stupid Master Chief helmet.
Exactly, you just have a helmet. You want the other thing, by the way, not the metal case. What the hell?
Joseph, you just put the Master Chief thing in like a box in the corner. Like
so
you're not.
Are you telling me when you play a game, you put the case there so you can view at the same time you're playing the game? Like
no, but you want to put it on a wall. Like if you want to put it on a wall of your collection of other steel books. It's just a nicer keepsake, and honestly, I would prefer it over a piece of plastic. Save the environment, all that kind of shit.
Plastic's worse for the environment. Metal can be melted down to something else.
No, that's why I'm saying keep metal instead. Don't get the plastic ones. Steel books are better. Having said that,
just go digital.
Just go digital. That's also another option. They could just also give you the actual collector's edition without the actual game.
That's what I'm saying. Have a digital code in there, but then like I said, you can't trade that disc in afterwards. So you spent it.
They would just not give you that at all.
The new digital deluxe edition.
Oh wait, that's the EA special.
But then digital copies.
EA loves having digital deluxe editions all the time. Digital deluxe, digital deluxe.
But yeah, I think that covers us for consoles. I think I will probably get a PlayStation 5. What about you?
Yeah, same. Just for, like I said, the comfortability and the only things that specifically come on console are PlayStation 5.
Yeah, but PlayStation 5 or Xbox?
PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5. Jay?
Neither.
Neither. Okay.
For now, you mean?
For now.
Yeah.
And then both in like 4 years' time.
Yeah, then you're gonna get
that Witcher 5.
Horizon, Spider-Man, Demons, Ratchet. He's like, I'm playing all of them all at once. Also, I'm low-key excited for Ratchet and Clank. It looks nice.
I'm past that. I'm past that platformer adventure life. Joseph, what do you think?
Yeah, man. PS5.
All right, there we go. We're pro PS5 here so far. Xbox just. Halo should have been the winner, but honestly,
With Game
On
Pass,
PC.
you don't need to
yeah,
worry
exactly.
On PC.
Exactly.
Johannes
the
is right. They pretty much shot themselves in the foot with their console. But if their whole point was to then change their Game Pass to $20 and chuck out a console, maybe you'd still pay for Game Pass. Because now you're getting the game when it comes out. You don't have to worry about...
You can also terminate your subscription.
And it's also
anytime.
the full... Like, it's the ultimate edition of that game.
Yeah.
Which you're paying $20 a month for. And
Such a steal. Oh my god.
I had Game Pass Ultimate for $1 for an entire year. Because I already had Xbox Live. And so they said if you paid $1 when they announced it, you got your live coverage as your whatever you wanted. So I paid $1 for an entire year.
What?
I played everything. I played
This is like the
Devil
best
May
thing
Cry.
Xbox has
I
ever done.
played Kingdom Hearts 3. I played that Life is Strange 1 and 2. I played everything I didn't play before. I played it through the last year.
It's such a crime that they're not getting, the publicity for this.
Yeah.
It's such a good guy, Greg move.
Yeah.
That it's...
I was like, no way they're making money giving to people
Yeah.
for $1.
No, they definitely are somehow.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure they're making money somehow. You know what Joseph's saying no, but
Well, they are Microsoft. They make shit tons.
yeah, I mean billions every hour or some shit like
Yeah.
that, right? But I think that covers this for now. I think we have a half an hour left. Do you mind if I go through my tenant review?
Go for it.
All right.
Movie was good. Thanks.
Yeah. So trying to keep Tenet spoiler free. Essentially, I watched this movie last night. I had to watch it in the cinema because everyone was like, Aiden was like, you have to watch it in IMAX. He hasn't seen it yet, but apparently the reviews were really good for IMAX. Christopher Nolan really outdid himself with this film. It is a visual masterpiece. A lot of people actually came out and said that this was also a very good movie. Some people said they were really confused. A lot of people said that it was a visual masterpiece. People like trying to figure out if they filmed like which parts that they filmed backwards, which parts did they film
what's the main
forward.
actor, dude? What's his name?
Forgot.
The guy who's also playing Batman now.
Oh, he's not one of the main actors. Like so,
Yeah, no,
Chris, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah, he said he was confused about which scene he was ever doing at a time. He's not sure in the timeline every day where he was.
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is, this film is so genius, right? For me, this film is so genius to the point where I honestly think Christopher Nolan has outdone himself.
What is the story of this? Without spoiling the entire story, like if I read up synopsis or something, what is...
It's
Tenet.
time travel,
So it is time travel.
but it's not time travel.
Like a Looper situation?
Yeah, it's like Looper. Okay, so it's like Looper, but it's backwards day.
Backwards day at Looper.
Yeah, it's backwards day Looper.
Okay.
So the whole concept, right, is that if you watch the trailer, the ships are going backwards and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, like literally going backwards.
Yeah, if you watch the trailer, the ships are going backwards,
Couldn't remember.
right?
that.
Ships are going backwards. You see things going in like the waves, instead of crashing outwards from the ship, it goes in towards the ship and the ship's going backwards.
Right.
Right. So the whole concept is that, without ruining the story, you can control certain items that are inverted. So
It's like video game now.
so
What's this, Control?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Also, like a exclusive game I haven't touched yet.
yeah, kind. Okay, so I haven't touched Control yet, so I can't really tell you. But essentially, some parts of the movie are backwards,
Yeah.
and so some people and some items.
Oh, wait, are scenes backwards?
I think they were
So-
shot backwards.
Yeah, that's why people are getting confused. Because if you shoot a scene backwards and then play it backwards for people.
No, but it's forward at the same time. So it's backwards and forwards at the same time. That's the thing. That's how smart this film is. So that's
It's not a film for dummies.
no, it's not a film for dummies, right? Like
Oh shit.
if you're not going into this movie expecting it to be Inception or stop doing that, and so if you're not expecting this film to be Inception
Yeah.
or expecting this film to be
The Dark Knight.
or you know like to have already figured out like some base theory of Inception, you're going to be so confused. Okay, so
you just reminded me of when we would go watch sci-fi movies all together, and then Joe and I would figure out the plot and then tell you the end, and you'd get mad.
so this one, okay, so the thing is, this film. Oh, fuck you guys.
I just remember, like the specific one I remember was the Tom Cruise one, where the aliens, apparently saving the planet, and they're sucking the water, and we're like, he's working for the aliens, and you're like, what? I'm like, check it. He got so mad.
I remember this.
Oblivion, that was the movie. Yeah, oh shit. So we can't do that with this movie. Good to know.
No, well, the thing is, it's very intelligent how it's filmed, and it's very simple in how it's explained. The fact that people are confused about this film confuses me. It's pretty honestly straightforward. Like
Backwards.
it's very obvious what's happened. Like they've gone through time and then they went back through it. Like you see the same scenes
Ah.
multiple times. And it's
Avengers
just like-
Endgame again.
Huh?
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers Endgame. But to be honest, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if I had to rate it on the three pillars that we always rate things on, which is narrative, cinematography, and I suppose immersion, right? It's it's probably close to like a 10
No.
out of 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Okay, so immersion is probably like an 8 to be honest, because while you for me, I got really into it. I was watching and I was like, holy shit. Like there's some parts I was with Rani and then she was confused, but I was just like, no fucking way. Oh shit, they did that.
Oh no, they didn't.
Oh no, they did. And then I sat there like, ooh, Christopher Nolan, you bad son of a bitch. You fucking brain. You
fuck
so
shit up.
fucking smart, Christopher Nolan. Like the guy wrote and directed this, and I'm just watching it and like, geez, you're intelligent. Like
Christopher Nolan for
There-
prison.
the ending of this film
Yep.
has a bit of an Inception thing, so it's triple layered.
Oh, okay.
So
it doesn't really
purpose-
end.
No, it does.
Oh, okay.
It does, but it's not the end of that timeline,
Right.
right? So
So you potentially saw the end at some point in the film.
no, so the start of the film
Yeah.
is also the end of the film, and the end of the film is also the start of the
Yeah.
film.
That's
Is that a spoiler?
Probably.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not a spoiler. I guarantee you,
It's
because
the Ian guarantee, is it? Does it come with money back?
there's no money for you to take.
When I pay for the ticket, I'm like, nah, Ian, you spoil it, pay me money back.
Having said that, cinematography, the fact that it was filmed this way,
Christopher
probably
Nolan's
backwards.
cinematography is always like
Yeah,
James
it's
Cameron
just
up there.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't normally give 10s, but like, I was like, well, it's not the most like artistic
Yeah.
shots. It is very like, it really catches you.
Yeah.
It hooks you in real well. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, whatever you want to give it there. Narrative, the way it's layered, 10 out of 10. And then for, I suppose, immersion, which is sort of like, if for people that don't understand what I mean by immersion, I mean like sort of like watching it and then sort of understanding it. If you're, I suppose, not dumb enough, if you're smart enough and it's not dumb, then like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But for most people, we'll probably just say it's a 5 because they're just confused. They're like, I don't know. Does he love her? I'm like, there's no love in the story. That's what Randy asked me.
Don't call your girlfriend dumb monster.
I didn't. Like, you know, some people.
We're gonna get cancelled now. You call like half the people who watch the movie dumb. It's like, I didn't get it. You dumb.
Well, okay, wait. To be fair, there is some hint of love and interest, but there's
Romance.
no love. There's no romance.
Yeah.
Put it that way. And there's like so many layers, but you know it can get confusing. So I understand why some people would say it's like a 5 out of 10. You know, like a 3. Like it's just too confusing. But honestly, if you can follow it well enough, and you know you just pay attention to the details, because honestly, it's all really obvious. There's no like small hints of here and there, like in an Avengers movie where someone's like wearing a shield logo or something like that. You know, like
Yeah.
it's all very obvious. None of it's hidden. Easily, I would say, if you followed it, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So overall, this movie's like a good 9, 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Would you risk COVID to watch it?
I did.
Yeah.
I risked COVID. I mean, we were spaced from other people. You know, sure we were in an enclosed room, but you know, I think it was all right. And there weren't that many people in the cinema. There was very limited seats.
Right.
Very limited seats. And overall, I think if you're wanting to wait, just wait till Monday. Find out if we're at level 1 or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's actually worth it. I really rate this movie so highly. And honestly, this like if this is Robert Pattinson's comeback movie, really good acting. Like nothing like how we used to see him. Like I think for most people, the last time we saw him was Twilight, right?
Yeah.
He's probably
other things before, during.
Yeah, before and during, he's probably done other stuff as well. I'm pretty sure. But if this is his biggest comeback film, I am ready. I am so ready for Batman. Evil Batman, just give it to me, dude.
Evil
Like,
Batman.
Oh, just
Spider-Man 3 all over again.
I'm really impressed with Robert Pattinson. I forgot what the main actor's name is. The black dude.
He's the same guy from Black Klansman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great actor as well. On point. Loved it. Culture diversity in this movie as well. On point. A little bit of diversity there. Not too diverse so that they try to fit too many things in. Try to make everyone happy, but
Not enough to offend you.
yeah. Not too little to offend you either.
Yeah, exactly. Just
Yeah.
the right amount.
Some people just get offended, like, oh my gosh, why didn't I see this kind of person here? I'm like, well, there's a little bit of everything there, and honestly, like, it's got a good mix. And I honestly think that everyone should watch this film.
And we
definitely. And you should. But that's my review for Tenet. Honestly, we're rating it at 9 out of 10 here, without ruining too much.
Hopefully not.
Without ruining too much or nothing at all, because honestly, y'all don't even know the story. So, that's it for us here today. Just to recap, a little bit of news came out. I'm gonna play Hades. Come back with a review sometime. Johannes is still hyped for Cyberpunk 2077
For the next 2 months,
console wars. PlayStation's definitely winning in terms of titles.
Yeah.
And
Also
I
sales right
suppose
now.
Sales.
Well, the other one hasn't sold yet, but yeah.
Titles, sales. I suppose
Exclusives. Technically, the only ones with exclusives.
allegiance.
Internet.
The internet, you know, like just more interested in the PlayStation because Xbox hasn't had a good history so far.
No.
And honestly, if Xbox want to pick this up, they have to come up with a series of exclusives. And they'll have to actually get on the exclusive bandwagon. That's not on Game Pass.
Yeah. As it
And
stands, there is no reason to buy an Xbox.
Take Halo off Game Pass. Save yourselves. Just like no.
Then he has to buy an Xbox.
Yeah. But that's what they need to do. You know, they need to.
Or even Sony, step up. We don't want to buy your console. Just put it on PC.
You know what? Just release your own Windows operating system. You know, this is PC operating. What's your OS?
Actually, Sony do have that PlayStation Now on PC thing, but you have to stream games, so your internet has to be really good. You can't download stuff.
It's this Google Stadia thing.
Stadia. Yeah.
Stadia, yeah. Google Stadia. Which could be the gaming future of gaming, but I don't think we're...
Not at the third world internet the other half of the world gets. It's silly.
It's not about the third world internet either.
No, it's not good enough.
We have some of the best internet in the world. I don't talk about. Some of the best.
Better than Australia.
Definitely better than all of Asia.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just not better than Europe or America.
exactly.
Having said that, that concludes us here at the studio. Thank you everybody for watching us live at the studio. That's been our 13th episode. It's just actually crazy. Can't believe we're 13 episodes in.
Mm.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't go back into lockdown again. We actually get to keep this up. So we're actually we're hopefully going to be continuing this steadily every week.
Yeah.
Being able to rotate everything around. But thank you once again to our sponsors, MSI Gaming, PlayTech for lending us a studio, MSI for powering us, allowing me to do my work. A lot of videos coming out, by the way, for MSI laptops. So 3 MSI laptop reviews are coming out
Nice.
over the next week. Pay attention to that. The Logitech review video as well for the Pro X wireless headset is also coming out on this Facebook page. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're liking this page. Follow us for that. Make sure you also keep in touch for all the new products. MSI's got a huge, massive discount sale
Oh yeah.
coming out in the next month.
Cool.
During the month of October, and I probably during I think around when Armageddon's supposed to hit.
Oh yeah.
It's MSI is gonna have like a sale that's like quite a few $100 off.
Wow.
Quite a few $100 off. It's crazy.
That's good.
If they don't sell 1,000 consoles, I don't know.
Consoles.
Laptops, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't sell 100 laptops. It's gonna be crazy. MSI make the best laptops in the industry. They've got SteelSeries keyboards in them.
Mhm.
That's already like a big bonus. The
Yep,
fact
yep.
that they've got collaborated.
Their graphics cards have always been like top of the range as well.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
tested.
So, having said that, anyway, a GS66 with a 2080 in it. Oh, crazy.
MSI, give us 3080s, please.
Having said that, thank you very much so much for watching. Aiden and Joseph and Johannes have been here with us today as usual. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here for this podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode for episode 14 next week, same time, same place, same studio at PlayTech. If you want your podcast studio, call PlayTech. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys there. Cheers.